I'm Tristan DuCross. Along my side, as always, my brother Sean DuCross. We are the Sports Warriors here with Randy Couture. Randy, big, huge turnout for the Bellator Fan Fest. A whole bunch of legends underneath the roof with Ken Shamrock, with Royce Gracie, with Tito Ortiz. I mean, you can even throw Stephan Bonner in there. What does this mean for Bellator right now, doing something like this?
Well, I'm certainly honored to be involved with these guys that I came through with. And I think Stephan Bonner definitely needs to be in there. It's probably one of the most important fights that we've had in the last 15 or 20 years with the Forrest Griffin fight in Tough One. So he's definitely a marquee guy and a legend. And I think, a lot of us maybe haven't got the warm fuzzies from the organizations we competed with before. And it's nice to be included in a fan fest, to be able to give back to the fans and be involved in this thing that Scott Coker and Bellator have put together.
What has it been like with the transition from Bjorn Remney to Scott Coker?
Well, my understanding is the first thing he did was get rid of all the lawyers. He's like, we're not going to sue our athletes. What's that all about? So, and I think consequently you saw Eddie, go to the UFC. That's what he's been fighting to do for quite some time. So, that puts Chandler in a position now to get a shot at winning his title back in the lightweight division on November 15th, and I'm excited for his opportunity. Obviously, I have a vested interest in seeing him compete. He trained at Extreme Couture for a few years as he got started and came through the first Bellator tournament under Bjorn. So now with Scott, I think we're seeing a little change in direction. I think we're kind of going back to the old model, big marquee names, marquee fights. Everybody wants to talk about those names, those matchups, and how those fights are going to unfold.
And on this one,
this one is a step in that direction.
It's full from the top to the bottom of the card. I mean,
yeah.
They even went out and brought in Joe Schilling, that a lot of people don't really know yet. Is that they're bringing the style fights to Bellator.
Yep.
If you stand up, you're going to face a stand-up type of guy.
I think that Scott is known for that, and he's a lifelong martial artist and understands the sport as well as anybody, and prides himself on the relationships that he's built with these athletes on handshake deals. He didn't need 17-page crazy contracts to get the job done, and I think that's a tribute to the kind of guy that he is. And so I'm excited just to be here and to be watched. As an outsider and a fan of this sport, I'm happy to be here.
Our prediction here to wrap this up. Who do you have? Tito Ortiz, Stephan Bonner?
Man, it's tough to make a case. It really boils down to who's going to have their way on that night. I think we've seen Tito. I don't think his fight style has changed a whole bunch. He's going to go out and try and find a way to take the taller, longer Bonner down to the ground and tie him up and drop elbows on him and do all those things that we've seen him do so many times. Bonner, I think, especially with all the emotion and the heat that's been going between them, is going to want to go out and create that brawling fight that we've seen in his style so many times. Exactly. And he's probably not going to feel like he's fighting until he sees some of his own blood. I mean, that's just kind of a fighter he is. So who's going to have their way that night is really anybody's guess. It's going to be interesting.
Absolutely. Well, we're the DuCross brothers, Sean and Tristan DuCross, with Randy Couture. Randy, thank you.
Pleasure, man. Thanks.
Nice meeting you.
You as well.